Yeah, wonder if that was too fishy. Probably. That was so fucking stupid. Wow. Hello, RC. This isn't quackle. I'll use quackle if I want to simulate. Very soon I'm going to start using Macondo, I think. Alright, so I played something kind of weird. This isn't a word. It is a word. So why did I think it wasn't a word? Wow. Yeah, this game was not my brightest game. Oof. Ooh, that's cool. Oh, fuck. Damn. That's really sad. Is the ad over? Oh. Are people here? Hello. Ow. Oof. Other than RC. Wait. Streamlabs message got deleted. I forgot that Streamlabs. I needed to moderate Streamlabs. Mod Streamlabs. Okay, should be fine now. Hey, Mr. Someone. Yeah, I'm gonna have that command until, you know, until SR releases Macondo in a good form. Ooh, nice play, Barrel. Didn't even see the Y. Where the hell is the Y? Oh, just. Okay, this game was not good. What? Again? Again, Heidi. Thank you so much for the raid. Let's shout you out with the clip this time. It's over? I mean, I knew it was gonna happen in the game.
Okay, folks, that was the final match. The judges are tallying the final scores, and
I think I know who's won this.
we have a winner.
Yay!
Water 15.
Water 15 did it, Lee.
Again. It was really close.
Fun times. This is this might have been the worst played game of the entire tournament, but I'll fill people in once I've gone through this bullshit. Yeah, thank you so much for rating. So they both got 100%, right? Heidi was streaming a duplicate match, duplicate Scrabble, which is a variant of Scrabble where you are trying to find the highest scoring move on every turn. And there were a bunch of really strong players there. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Lewis Mackay and Austin both won it. But yeah, appreciate the raid. Huge raid. Okay, everybody. This game was a complete and utter train wreck. In this game, I was playing Michael Thielen, who probably maybe one of you knows who that is. Maybe two of you, but not very many people, I think, that are watching this stream know who Michael Thielen is. Oh, WSF is here, so he knows, yeah. A lot of longtime players know who he is. He's the guy that basically developed most of what we know today as Ziziva. And this is a tool that absolutely revolutionized Scrabble studying and Scrabble cheating. But mostly studying. It's really just an anagrammer. It can do a lot of things. You quiz yourself on it. It does flashcards. It does pretty much anything you ask it to do. There's so many ways to sort of find specific lists of words that you want to use to study. Unfortunately, at some point, around 6 years, I don't remember how long ago, something, I don't exactly know what happened, but I think he got maybe a cease and desist from Hasbro for using their word list or something. And North American Scrabble Players Association, who at that time was licensed to use Merriam-Webster, I guess, yeah, Merriam-Webster's list. They wanted to buy Ziziva and make it so that the word list would only be available to paid members of NASPA, so that it could be paywalled in a way that doesn't breach copyright law. And Mike was just not into that. Mike worked at Google. He was all for, like, you know, open source stuff and just free tools for everybody. And he was like, I don't want to do this. He felt like backed into a wall, and he decided to just release the rights to Ziziva to NASPA and stop working on it entirely, which is a very, very, very nice, I guess, very good thing to do, very moral thing to do. And since then, NASPA has been attempting to use Ziziva. There's also a version, or to run Ziziva. There's a version of Ziziva that is called Collins Ziziva that isn't under anyone's control. It uses Collins lexicon only, and you could upload your custom list. Anyways, all that being said, Mike developed this thing, and it was really, really good for Scrabble. Now it no longer is really, really good for Scrabble in the ways that it was before, because it's just been like, it just sucks now. For some reason, the newest NASPA Ziziva version, like, when I try to quiz myself on words, the font is just absolutely, like, terrible in terms of pixelation. And, like, Artmore tried to help me out and, like, create some files for the fonts that would make them, like, more legible and less, like, pixelated. And it didn't work at all. And also, every time I open Ziziva, it doesn't have the NWL23 lexicon on it. I have to load it every single time if I want to use it, which is completely absurd. It's probably something that I did to make it like that. But, you know, I remember a time we could just download Ziziva and it would work every time. And worst of all, they tried to make it so that you can use Dropbox or some other, like, file sharing thing to transfer your quiz information and your word list searches and whatever, all of your specific, like, studying lists to any version of Ziziva that you own on, or that you have downloaded on any device. And it's absolutely impossible to work with, like, for a layman like myself. It's crazy. I don't know, like, it's crazy how, like, obviously people are behind it trying to make it better and trying to improve it, but it just goes to show how, like, prescient and, like, ahead of his time Mike was when developing Ziziva, that they're, like, so incapable of taking the reins and, like, making it as good as it used to be. So I've sort of sworn off Ziziva for my own personal use recently. Yeah, it did feel like that, Chalcedonics. But, you know, it's a speech. You gotta say things in speeches. NASPA Ziziva is buggy garbage. I forked my own version of Collins Ziziva that was archived and gave it a previous button. Nice. right behind you. Good to see you as well. Shout out to right behind you. I was talking about you yesterday too. How you don't stream anymore. But how you found. Oh, I should show you, Josh. Oh, I don't think I can. Let me just finish this game off. Yeah, let me show you before you go. Look at my opening rack. Look at my opening rack in this game, and it's in the system now. Tell me what you think I should play, or if you saw a glimpse of what I played with this opening rack. Do you remember? You remember our fun little spat from years ago? Where I was like, "Hey man, this word has never been played ever before in Scrabble. Useless word." I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta fucking play it, even if it might be slightly suboptimal." I just wanted to show you that. That's why we were talking about you yesterday. I was telling people how you found actual instances of this being played like unironically in Scrabble, which is really funny. Like the most useless high prop word in the world. Anyways, so what was I saying? Yeah, so I was playing Michael Thalen, and I played really badly this game. Why is it suboptimal? I said, did I say? I don't think I said like definitely suboptimal. I said probably or slight or potentially, right? I said that like 10 seconds ago. I don't know. There's too many options, and it's boring to try and sort through which one's the best one in that position. I liked the aspects of the play that were good, and thought the aspects of the play that weren't that good were fine. I couldn't find excuse me. I couldn't find anything like that I really liked in terms of when you open with the bingo, you want a few things to go your way. I mean, you already have opening with the bingo going your way, but you want, in the instances where your opponent does not like strike back instantly, you want to have a game that is easy to maintain your lead and control in. So that's the reason I went with Angelus. It seemed to provide me with a lot of ability to control the flow of the game and maintain my lead. And there are many aspects of a play, like the defense of the play, the hookability of the play, the what it creates in terms of potential or likely board flow, like where plays are likely to go and what that's likely to do to the board. Anyways, all that being said, this was game 6 of I guess I should, yeah. This was game 6 of 18 of the Swillens tournament. And I opened with Jin. Honestly, a lot of me was like wanting to play Ninja, and I didn't play it, and I kind of feel like this is way too fishy. You know, when people speak, WTF and Andrew, it doesn't mean that every like word they say is, first of all, doesn't mean every word they say is valid. Second of all, the words that you say, the punctuation is like not there. Board flow is 2 words. Hookability has a hyphen in it. You can imagine these things and understand that I am speaking in plain English. Yeah, I know, Child Sonics. I'm just going along with it. It's funny. Okay. Anyways, so this game went as follows. I played Jin. I fished, set up the N hook. Okay. I guess you win then, Chalcenox, because I didn't trust that you were going along with it. Oh man. So he played Zhao, I played Octanes. He played Audi, a new word in the NWL dictionary. I played Moved, which I didn't quite like because it opens some danger. But it scored well, but it also kept a G. But I didn't see a good way of getting rid of the G. Yeah, the other option is just play Voted, keep things tighter. MGS is actually not that bad. The M and the G work decently together. But I decided to take the points. Try to draw an N or an I and an I. Didn't, but he gave me an X spot. I played ticks in like 2 seconds. He played Bedtime. I played Goitrus, highest scoring bingo. Only double. He played Tor, and then I made this really hilarious mistake. So for a long time, I was looking for like bingos from this S, maybe from the R as well. I was looking for bingos through the O. I was looking for a disconnected 9 through the U and the E. And after I couldn't find any of those things, I was like, well, shit, what do I even have in this position that's like any good? Because I want to just block the board. I'm up 118. This play is going to end the game probably, but if I can stop him from bingoing like for the rest of the game, that'd be really, really good for me. And so I'm looking for all these things, and I just fail to just consider like looking through the E in any like legitimate fashion for some reason. Like I can play with the E in 7th or 6th position, and I just completely like forgot to look for that. And then played Cauldrons and like hit my clock, and I was like, wait, what the fuck did I just do? And after like a few seconds, I noticed the only playable bingo through the E of Colander, which is a very pedestrian play, very pedestrian find. And just like, wow, why did I do that? Like, how did I leave so many points on the table just failing to even look through the E? So I was a little bit tilted. Not a lot, but I was like, wow, that was so dumb. Because now he can like bingo with bedtimes. He can bingo from the S through the U. There's so many things that he can do now. Bingo here, here, which he couldn't do after Colander. Like, it was really dumb. Luckily, he didn't bingo. He played gray, and I drew this rack, and I could have fished. I thought about like playing awe or something. The problem is, again, like if a bingo hits the board now, like a normal bingo, it's just gonna like block everything off, just the way the board is. And so if he bingos next turn and I have AEIRT, most likely I'll have a bingo or not, but if I have a bingo, it won't be playable. So I didn't feel like it was right to fish here, and I thought I would go for like a very defensive idea. So I started putting a waiter on the board, and then I like chickened out of it. I was like, oh, is this even a word? And like I made like a split-second decision that I wasn't sure that this was a word, and switched it to Asteria, which might have some like larger benefit than a waiter because it blocks this and doesn't allow hooking waiters with an S. Does allow hooking Asterias, but it's a lot harder to do that and less lucrative. So it might be a better play than a waiter, but it was really stupid that I like chickened out. And then I think my biggest blunder of the tournament was in this position. Hey, Bellman and JW on YouTube. Where Michael played Slinker and I held, and I was like, ugh, this looks horrible. And I kept thinking about it, and I knew I wasn't sure. And I was like, oh, there's some weird slink words, aren't there? And I let it go, and this is a Collins word. This is only valid in Collins. So this is, I guess I could chalk it up to Collins confusion, but I might have let it go. I don't know. I might have let it go for another reason. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell why I thought this should stay on the board. Like I could say that it's Colin's confusion, and that might be true, but I don't know for sure. Maybe I've just let it go. Um, so yeah, let this go. So huge blunder. And then I missed the new word pone. I also missed, and I missed Pelham, which you should never play. And I played Juan. And I saw that I was keeping like bleeps on my rack, and I don't know. This isn't a good play, but it does score some points. He played Yao. Yeah, never played Pelham, ever. He played Yao. I should have played Barrel, setting up my case S. And setting up an A that he might not have, and eliminating all the counterplay on the 14 row. But I didn't see this, and I played Alp, setting up a huge, powerful bingo line, which, I mean, if I sim this position, it'll probably think Alp is a better play than Barrel, in terms of like its equity value. However, if I play this move, it's basically like saying, hey, I have the last S, and there's nothing you can do about it. And then he'll do something about it, which is what happened. He decided, okay, well, I'm just going to play here and eliminate all of my counterplay just to eliminate yours, basically. I drew the Q. I chickened out of Sabler and played Sable. I decided that it wasn't worth fishing anymore. I could play QI immediately, but all of my bingos are just not going to fit anymore now that he's played Roped. So I played here just to seal some counterplay off. Like you could have something with a we or something with DE, DA or something. So I did that and drew the Z and played Fez, knowing that I have QI here, QIS here, and QI here with Rain and Cot here. But it might be better. I don't know if it's best to play Fez, but it might be. He plays Vaunt, and I played Quail here, thinking, all right, I have two spots for LAH that overlap and score well. I also considered like Choir or whatever. Sorry, I played Choir. I considered playing Quail because it sets up HE, and I have her here, and I have here. But I ended up playing Choir, and the funniest thing happened here. So he blocks the slightly higher scoring spot that I saw with Tongue, and then I went out with Law, and he showed me his eye, and game was over, 484, 349. And I was posting all of my boards as Instagram stories. And I got a response from PB is led, Patrick, who was on the stream yesterday. And in this Instagram story, I was like, oh, I let a Collins only word go, really bad, but I drew too well for it to matter. And then Patrick was like, you also let LE go. And I was like, what? And this will happen sometimes, even at the very highest levels in Scrabble, where there's just this massive double blindness of nobody noticing anything until like an outside observer notices it and informs them of like what's going on. And my outplay of LAH formed LE. I hope you guys noticed, but if you didn't notice, it sort of like justifies to me how neither me nor Mike noticed this. But I literally went out with a phony 2. My opponent didn't see it. I didn't see it. And the only reason someone saw it is because I was posting the boards. And when he said that, I was scanning the board. I was like, where on earth is LE? Like, I couldn't. And then it was like right in front of my face. And I was like, oh my God. Like, normally a phony 2 is gotten away with in the middle of a game. But the outplay is like, there's nothing to go after the outplay. The game is over. So people are way more focused on what has just been played because it's the last play. So this is the second time in the tournament where I got away with a phony outplay. Like, this time it was even stupider. So this game was a complete and utter disaster. I'm going to take a look at the analysis to see what's going on. Or Mac's next video, you mean, Andrew? So I think Ninja is just a better play. We'll see what Quackle thinks. Oh, I should switch scenes. All right, it's looking close. Yeah, if it's close like this, it's clearly a mistake not to play longer. Don't fish against lower rated players if you don't have to. But yeah, what's funny is, I mean, what's even funnier is prior to this game, like Mike was sort of, I think he might have challenged a 3-letter word or something, or not been sure of a 3-letter word. He actually held my play of choir in the end game, Quire. And that's because he doesn't really play anymore. He plays like maybe once a year at this tournament if he can. And yeah, he's just doesn't have as much experience playing. So there's some just slips that occur when you're rusty like that. But basically, he was like saying, "Oh, I don't even know if these threes are valid." I'm like, "Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna play threes every turn against you in our game." And I mean, I opened with a 3. It's like maybe he doesn't remember. But that was the funny thing because at the end I played Law, which is a relatively new addition to the 3-letter words in the NWL lexicon. And I was like, I think I said something to the tune of, "You're not going to challenge this?" I think I said that, like, "You're not going to challenge this 3?" And he's like, "No, I know that one." And it turns out like that was some sort of crazy misdirection. Of course, if I did that on purpose, I would have told you guys about it. But like, I didn't even know. I was just like, "So you're not going to challenge this 3?" It was like, "No, no." And we still didn't notice. Like, totally crazy. In any case, let's look at voted versus moved. Probably close. Okay, it's like it moved a lot. A whole lot. It is good to eliminate the D hook on Jin, I guess. And to score some points. And to only keep 2 consonants instead of 3. Okay. It's good. Played that, played that. This was just a stupid, stupid, stupid mistake. Thank you for following. Yeah, welcome to any new viewers. Feel free to ask me any questions about what in the world I'm doing. If there's anything you're curious about, no question is stupid in this stream unless it's asked by a VIP or mod. Then it's pretty stupid. Nice Uri play. Huh? What? Oh god, WTF. Well, you're not super new here, Andrew K. You're not super new here. But, I mean, sure. Try me. Yeah, one of these plays is fine. And this is one of maybe two potential Collins confusion mistakes I made all tournament. So considering that is not a big deal. Whatever. I mean, there's so many plays here, they all just win. Oh! Pelham. Wow. There hasn't been a triple yet. Oh, there goes a triple. 1 in 800. Oh, 2 in 900. Every time Pelham just drops in valuation in winning chances by like, oh, that's 3. Okay. So it's like 1 in 500 chance of a triple. Or something. Or maybe I missed some. But yeah, something like poofed is fine. Math game with letters. Could just be large. Yeah, that could be true as well. Let's see what it probably, like I said, I assume it's gonna like this play of Alp, but it's less good than Quackle thinks for sure, because not only does it not address like potential huge bingos on the 14 row, which is basically all I need to worry about. It also doesn't address like QUAYS type plays, or QEYS, and it also just gets blocked way more often than Quackle thinks. Mike's just gonna give up, but you know it's nice to make your opponent give up in a lot of situations, rather than have them fight on. This is sort of like a you resign now type situation of playing Alp for 11. But also, I mean, he could just not react to it, which would be nice. So yeah, chickened out a Sabler. Which is just, the R doesn't really help me here. Since I just drew the Q, I need to draw a U or an I. I want to draw something with the Q that isn't an R. The R doesn't help, like I said, really at all. So that in mind, I should play off an extra tile, score some points, which is often the case when you have the Q. Just play as many tiles off as possible if you don't have a good play with it. Wait, why is Les... Did they re-add Les? They did, didn't they? Yeah, they did. Oh shit, I'd forgotten about that. No? Oh. Okay, it's X. Yeah, so it's not. Wait, what does that mean? Hold on. I think that means they removed it. Let's see. Yeah, let's test it. It likes resin. What? Why? I'm not. The F doesn't help me. Okay, yeah, that means they removed it. Okay. But why is it on here? Like, I have NWL 23 on here. So I don't know why it's on here. Huh. Super weird. See if I still made the best endgame play. Still the best endgame. You should score a bit more, sure, but okay. So if I do a new game here, will it think les is a word? What the hell? So I guess my NWL 23 list is wow 24. Let me see. No. The plot thickens. What? What is going on? What list is this? What even is this list? I have the 23 list with all the additions and none of the and all of the slurs. What? No, it's not WoW. Because WoW doesn't have this shit. WoW doesn't have this shit. How? I can just remove all. Okay, I can just manually remove stuff from that list. Okay. Mislabeled as what, Joel? There's no list that is this. The list that I have is just wrong. Someone made a faulty list. And they sent it to me, which is good. It just shows how stupid everything is. I'm not gonna test that theory. Mac hacked me. Oh god. Yeah, Mac is very smart, but he would need to hire somebody to hack me. And he's not smart in that department. Yeah, I don't know what list this is, but it has all the slurs in it. At least all the ones that I think it has. Let's go back to this and just admire the beauty of this. So this is the second in 6 games where I went out with a phony and was not challenged. So, part of me is like, okay, am I good at Scrabble? And then the other part of me is like, no, you're just lucky. And when this sort of stuff happens, it's like, yeah, that's probably right. It's probably not that I'm good. It's probably that I just have this like outside of Scrabble like luck/skill set. that has nothing to do with the game. Or nothing to do with my brain, I guess. WTF, you think you've implanted these ideas? You think I don't have the ability to like think about things? Oh man. So I don't know. WTF is the source, even if indirectly. I mean, if that's true, then WTF has to admit that he's a sociopath, which I don't think he'll ever admit. Not even close. What a sociopath would say. Okay, let's go. Hold on, let me put round 6. No, I did, okay. Alright, so the match of the century arrived here. And here's the thing, guys. I went into this tournament. Well, first of all, I told people I was staying with, if I go 11-0, I will shave my beard, which Joel Sherman in chat would have been happy to see, and it was partially for him. I know he likes when I'm clean shaven. But I didn't. I went 10-1 on day 1 and kept my beard. But when coming into this tournament, I don't know what that is, Joel, sorry. Coming into this tournament, I was under 50% against the field. Like, my overall head-to-head record against mostly players I knew, like, there were maybe a third of the players in the field that I'd never played. Actually, I don't know. I'm not going to verify that information. I was under, like, I had like 100 games against the field, I think, or something, and I was under 50, under 500 against the field. And that's because Joey Malik is one of my most played opponents, and my current record against him my then current record was like, I think 18-25, which I've been working to improve upon, but also, of course, I ended up winning the games that mattered against Joey in the most recent iteration of things. Anyways, my head-to-head record against the field was horrendous. Carl Johnson, for example, was like over batting over 700 against the field, like winning over 70% of his games. I was winning 47% of my games against the field. So, I mean, if you look at that, you're just like, how could Josh even win this game or win any games? Hey, Best, what's up? And here I'm playing Joel Horn, who my record against in tournaments is abysmal. It's a little bit over 50%, which is extremely low for someone who's tends to be rated 400, sometimes even 500 points lower than me. Sometimes 300 as well. But yeah, I've talked about Joel before. I've even posted on my Patreon. My first exclusive Patreon content was a video I made of my worst choke ever, which occurred in the Albany New Year's tournament last year against none other than Joel Horn. So every time I sit down to play Joel, I am just like already immediately tilted by the history. But not like that bad, but like sometimes things happen that like induce the tilt. And it's one of my, I guess, challenges, modern day challenges against certain players to like get out of my own head against Joel. And Joel is known for being a pretty disagreeable player to play against over the board, although he is a really nice guy. And I really want to preface this by saying, like, outside of over the board Scrabble, like socially, Joel is a great guy, and I've enjoyed his company. All the times that we've had like food together or like after hours or whatever. But during tournaments he gets really really serious and really negative. That's the case for a lot of people. So another thing that I try to do against Joel is like just try to avoid conflict. But he tends to find things to like create conflict with in our games. What's up, Alan? Have I ever faced Legend himself? Yes, of course. I wouldn't be sitting here right now pretending to be a legitimate Scrabble player if I hadn't. But yeah, welcome in. I've seen you, yeah, I guess in Chess Bra and other streams. The Nigelator, indeed. I have many videos about Nigel. I have a full video on my YouTube channel, going through every single game. Oh, whoops, that's the wrong one. Every single game I played against Nigel, but it's kind of really technical and long. But yeah, we're tight. We're tight. 2 and 3 lifetime against Nigel, which isn't that bad. I'm 1-1 against Wapnick and Elkins, and won't mention your record against. Yeah, my record against this Joel is also very, very bad, and I've choked against you many, many times. But until you start playing tournaments again, Joel, I can't remedy that. This is part of the reason I just want you to play more tournaments, so I can get the chance to like fix my record against you. By the way, for those unaware, yeah, Joel, a legend of the game. What sort of ranking are you looking for, Alan? Because I have a lot of those. So Joel was first, and he played Hun. And this game went really smoothly. Oh, if you're trying to post a link, it's not going to let you do that. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're trying to post. But even if I try to like enable you to send a link, it still won't work because of moderation settings. That is me, yeah. Yeah, that's true, Joel. That's true. I will be playing CSW only. Okay, so Hun is the play for 12. Let's see what I had. Number 4 in the world? No. There's a difference between North American rankings and world rankings, and there's a completely different word list that's used on a world stage. So I've yet to really prove myself on the world stage. I went to my first international tournament. Maybe that's what you're thinking of. I got 4th in that tournament. But I need to learn a lot of words to be able to really be a force, or try to be a force in that stage. But I am king of the small pond, as you might have noticed. Right now, I'm top ranked player in North America. And the reigning champion. Yay! So, I played Vax. Seems fine. Played Oil. And I would have liked to be able to punish this move, because it's like a weak play that opens the board. But I couldn't find anything to do that. Which ways are those? WTF. So yeah, I didn't see that I could play this, which is probably the best play. Huh. It's funny. I played this in a later game. I played this word in a later game, but didn't see it here. So that's a problem. I played Whorl, which is clearly worse than that, right? Yeah. Oof. Okay, well that's a very bad miss. But anyways, even though there was no conflict in this particular game, I have so many stories of other conflicts that we've had over the board. Unfortunately, none of them ending in fisticuffs. But something did happen after the game when we were in the post-mortem stage just talking about the game. And unfortunately, I couldn't hold my tongue in the way that would have prevented any conflict from arising. So we'll play Dib. And I decided to play Yay. And then he had this rack. And this is a really good rack. Hi, Syadam. Yeah, no, it doesn't take an S. So all I would have been setting up is the S hook here, which is, I guess, kind of fine, not a big deal, and might also go away. Yeah, unfortunately, his bingos don't are all pretty bad. Like the best he can score is making odd, and like opening this huge triple or triple even. You can play underneath and give a little bit less back potentially by not putting the letter in second spot rather in the fourth, forcing longer words to be the ones that score points. Or you could play up here with something like Trinail or Ratline or Reliant or Retinal or Latrine. So like all of these play up here. And this is the source of the conflict. But he ended up playing Latrine and DE. And unfortunately for him, I had this rack. Yeah, tail ender. And yeah, this triples for 131, and it's the only bingo. So had he played, I think, Trinail, I don't think I would have had a bingo. Yeah. So this would have been the position, and my plays just suck. I'd probably play like Rant or Neat or something. And I'd still be in a favorable position. I'd be down a tempo, but I'd be pretty comfortable here. Probably still likelier to win than him. But yeah. So I played Tarleton, which, by the way, means it's a fabric. But in French, calling someone a tarlatan is like an insult. I don't know if that's the case in English as well. But yeah, I would have expected after this play that Joel would have been like really, really visibly frustrated, but he wasn't. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. I mean, he was frustrated, but not as like frustrated as he normally is when things aren't going his way. So I played spaz, which is a word again. It wasn't a word before. They added it back to the dictionary. And I think the reason he wasn't super frustrated is he had a blank. So when he has good letters, it's a really important tell. If he's not like reacting to your like high scoring plays, probably means he has good letters. And indeed he had a blank, I think, on the guide turn he drew one after latrine. And wow, he had a new word. Boricua, the anagram of caribou. Or some higher scoring plays, narcotic being the highest scoring. But this play actually might not be correct. Considering that he's down by so much, he might want to not make it so that like the 14 row is dead. But it's probably still fine. Yeah, so maybe it's Narcosis. Maybe you should play that. Yeah, Narcosis looks like the best play. But he played Corrida with the, yeah, like this. So he played that for 70. Yeah, staying a little bit in the game. So I still had work to do. And yeah, I did not see this play, but it looks a little bit insane. It's cool. I played 4-leg. Yeah, it's probably better, but I should have at least considered this play, probably. And he exchanged 4, which I'll designate as IIUU because I don't know. And I drew a bingo out of the bag to seal the deal. That is binocle. And the game was just over from that point. I played Ruga. Really struggling. I got a little bit greedy here. I couldn't find a great play, so I just played VAU hoping to bingo again. And he actually bingoed first. With Readiest. Which actually was played 3 times in my games this tournament. And he blocked Neotypes. I played Zesty. He played Mom. There you go. I played Foe, emptying the bag. He had the Q. Yeah, I was gonna get Q stuck probably. I drew the Q. I couldn't figure out a way not to get Q stuck. Yeah, he played off the Q. And I played Jute instead of Jupe. Looked like a slightly better end game, but I'll check that. He played Ode because he mistracked. He is having something else that would have been blocked after this play. I played Pin. I won 530 to 321. Okay, great. So let's take a look at some of the positions. All right. I think this is fine. But yeah, Know How looks like a much better play. Yeah, making a lot of... At this tournament, I was making a lot of these just misses of... Just like play finding mistakes, which is not really usually the sort of mistake that I make. At least like to this extent. Like sometimes I'll miss a play that's like maybe a few points better. This is just like a clear, complete and utter miss, especially on like a board that has so little going on. Should not, like, this should not be a thing that I miss. Yeah, I could have lost the game then and there. I think Odia is fine. I know it was interesting to keep ED, I guess. But Lozenge, I can't imagine is a better play. Just gives too much back. Not really sure what to do here. I mean, I saw that I could play Avenue. That would have been hilarious. And yeah, it would have been nice to sort of like intervene in this area. Like maybe I could play Gov and just block everything, and maybe he'll try to open and I'll bingo there. Maybe that was the correct idea. And it actually leaves the C open, which I could hit. I played Zesty. Yeah, I think this is fine. But yeah, we're getting to the interesting part of this game, our post-game discussion. And I'm very curious to ask you guys what you think about this. Adam, don't worry. Don't worry about it. I appreciate you coming to my defense. It's funny, it's like the same thing. Like sometimes you feel like you have to stand up for things that you believe in, and it just leads to conflict on a small scale. That is potentially unnecessary. But it's hard to just let it be, you know. And I'm gonna ask you guys, oh my god, this is taking fucking forever. I'm gonna ask you guys what you think. So at the end of this game, let's go back to this. Oops. At the end of this game, wait, is my camera a little bit out of focus? I don't know if I changed anything. So at the end of this game, I was discussing how, like, telling him how if he'd played Latrine for one more point with Odd, then I still would have been tripled with Alterant, which is the anagram of Tarleton, which I was like, yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. And he was like, yeah, I mean, I don't think I missed anything. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe you want to play like Trinail here for 65. But honestly, this doesn't make any sense. I guess after my play of YE, it makes a little bit more sense to do something like this. It really, honestly, might be fine considering the last play I made, which should indicate to Joel that I don't have any scoring tiles most of the time. I mean, I guess I could have an X and be setting it up with X. That'd be pretty... No, I can't have an X. I already played the X. I could be setting up a Z maybe with Z. It's really hard to imagine, or some play here, that YE, at least an overwhelming majority of the time, would indicate that I don't have scoring tiles, and I'll run into situations like the one I would have been in, where I don't have any playable bingos and I don't have a great way to capitalize on the triples that he opened for overlaps. And maybe I could be scoring 30 there, which he should be fine with. As long as I'm not scoring 40, 50. This play probably benefits him. And then, so we're discussing this, and I'm like, yeah, maybe, I don't know. I guess that could have worked. I mean, I wouldn't have had a bingo, but it's so hard to make a play like Trinale. I don't even know if it's correct. And then he hit me with the comment. And he's like, and yeah, maybe I would have had a bingo. And he starts like picking the tiles off the board that he drew after latrine. And that, my friends, for some reason, that was a no-no for me. And I said, well, you wouldn't have drawn that. That's what I said to him. And I really shouldn't have said that. Because he started to get really upset. And he was trying to, like, he was acting like I didn't realize that he played the same tiles and I had the tiles that I had. It felt like he was trying to tell me, I think he was trying to tell me, like, what do you mean? Like, I played these tiles and I drew these tiles. And I was like, yeah, I know you did. But you wouldn't have drawn them if you did something else. Am I making any sense to you guys right now? Tell me if, or stop me if I'm not explaining the discussion properly. Joel, are you serious? So basically the premise that I was trying to discuss was the premise of is it the butterfly effect? It's something like the butterfly effect. Yeah, so the man from Acme comment. Where the idea is if anything is at all changed in such a tiny way, just anything, it means that what happens next is dislodged. It is not something that will necessarily occur in the same way. And actually, sometimes it goes even further, say that things would be completely and totally different if something else, some minor thing was changed. So here's the physical situation. The physical situation, I would agree, is that no matter which bingo Joel plays, the same letters are in the tile bag in the same state, unless during the period of time that he was considering Trinale, I, for some reason, moved the bag, or he moved the bag, or something. But I'm going to grant that that wouldn't have happened. So the tiles would have been in the same spot that they were in the bag, in a pretty random order to begin with nobody knowing where they are unless they're cheating and looking in the bag. So I will grant that the tiles are in the same spot that they were in either of these situations. I don't think that the tiles would somehow be different. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that he would have drawn different tiles. How different? Maybe only one tile difference. but more likely than not, he would not have drawn the exact same tiles that he happened to draw in the one into the bag going action that he partook in after his play of latrine and DE. And he started to get really frustrated. And like he was like saying, that's ridiculous. Of course I would have drawn the exact same tiles. How could you say that? That's just such a, like, to him, it was just such a fundamental truth. It was as if I was attempting to inculcate a, like, cultish. It was as if I was I was trying to spread some form of propaganda in his mind about how the world works. Which, in some ways, I do believe in trying to convince people of what I believe in terms of what would have happened in a Scrabble game if you'd made a different play. I do strongly believe that you cannot determine the letters you would have drawn if you'd made a different play. Especially when it's like, oh, I had this 5-tile play, this 3-tile play. So after the 5-tile play, I would have drawn the same 3 tiles plus 2 more. Especially that. Now, what he's trying to say to me, he's trying to break my world by saying that when you draw 7 tiles from the bag, you will always draw specifically the same tiles, no matter what play you make. And to me, that makes me a robot. That makes me a non-thinking being that is programmed to do exactly a certain thing, regardless of my emotional state, of the air pressure, of any tiny little element of the universe that changes based on where I place my tiles on a Scrabble board. And so we're at this like standstill in our post-mortem discussion because I'm like, dude, like, I will not engage with you on this matter because I don't believe in what you're saying. So Scrabble game turns into this like philosophical or moral or like scientific discussion. But I was like, yeah, physically speaking, the state of the tiles are the same. But when you go into draw tiles, you draw tiles in a way that will differ based on how you feel about the play you made. And based on all these other factors. If you admit the state of the tiles are identical after any play with the same number of tiles added to the board, I don't know how you can prove that the next draw is any likelier to not be identical than it is to be identical. No, Joel, I am not saying that. Other Joel is taking the Joels to court, to appeals court. I'm saying that there's no way to prove that you would draw the exact same tiles. That is all I'm saying. I'm saying that it should, in my head, it should be different. It would be different. But I can't say that it will. What he's saying is he has a deterministic, fully deterministic attitude about what tiles he's going to draw. Whereas I am like, sure, the tiles are in the same place. You're probably likely, if you tend to draw in the same way every time you draw tiles, you're probably likely to draw a few of the same letters. But depending on the size of the bag, like, there's a lot of tiles to choose from. Like, I don't want to feel, even though I am a determinist philosophically, I don't believe in free will, which might actually screw up my argument here. I don't believe that had you made a different decision, which you wouldn't have made, because I don't believe in that. I believe in like you would have played the play you played no matter what. But I'm happy to discuss alternative plays in terms of like discussing what the best play might have been in that situation. But when you're trying to engage me into going even further and saying, oh, I would have drawn these same tiles, that's when I'm like, no, I don't consent to this discussion. Because I don't believe there's any way to prove that you will have drawn the same 7 letters. There are too many letters to draw from. And you don't go into the bag the same exact way every time. And I would have like had an interesting discussion with him, but 2 things were in the way of that, or a few things maybe. One thing was we're in someone's house and people are still playing games. So I don't want to raise my voice. I don't want to, especially with something so like spurious as this discussion. And 2, he was being very, he was leaving no chance for any other idea to even be reasonable. Whereas I might have been doing that too, but I feel like I'm not as stubborn as that. I think he was just being extremely stubborn and like not even thinking or admitting the idea that he might have drawn different letters. Like, I think if you say, oh, I might have drawn different letters, that's so good enough for me. But when you say that, no, I most certainly would have drawn the exact same 7 letters if I had made a different play, that's when I just can't. I just can't do it. I'm sure I said it. I mean, it's possible, but you wouldn't have, I think. But maybe I didn't say it's possible. Maybe I was being too dogmatic. And that's very possible. Like, and this is why I'm talking about this with you guys, because I do feel like I was not the perfect person in this situation, not even close. But I still think that my logic is sounder than his. Masterdo says, but even then, drawing those 7 tiles is one outcome out of so many. What conclusion does he hope to get out of that thinking? Yes. And that's what I mean. In terms of Scrabble, in terms of philosophy of how to play Scrabble and what's important in Scrabble, you don't control what you draw. So having any sort of like discussion based on the idea that you're controlling what you draw, to me is absolutely and positively a complete and utter waste of time. It's so ridiculous to me. So that's probably why I wasn't as like reasonable as I could have been, because it's just this way of thinking that is so far removed from the way that I approach Scrabble. I'm sorry. It's like, and maybe I'm wrong, but it's gotten me far enough. Humor him, yeah, blah blah blah. The argument was unnecessary, and yes, I was trying to stop it. A few times I was like, okay, we shouldn't let's not discuss it. I just don't agree with you. And he's like, well, you can be wrong, I'm like, okay, but I don't think I'm wrong. You just kept on egging me on. Together commit to making time and possibility machine for the next 30 years to prove or disprove this. That's like folding on a 1 out of 10 odds ion in a card game, then peeking and seeing the good card and arguing you should have stayed. Exactly. It's like in poker where you fold a hand and then your cards come out and you're like, I shouldn't have folded. Wrong. When you can think about the YE move, and you can think about my range, and you can think about Trinale maybe being a better play. It's the drawing the same tiles thing, the deterministic way in which Joel thinks Scrabble is played, that I cannot I can't deal with that. Him thinking he's going to draw the same tiles you do, oh, I would have drawn this, is absurd. Because if we're talking about what the best play might be, it has absolutely zero to do with the 7 out of 60 of tiles, the one tiny little shred of the one iteration of what occurred. You have to approach this situation with the information of YE, but without the information of what you drew afterwards. Because that, just because those letters happen to be what you drew and happen to be in the bag, it doesn't matter at all. There's probability at this rate in the game, as this part in the game. Okay, let's look at the vowel consonant ratio. Let's look at the dangerous tiles to draw. Let's look at what we could draw. Not what we would draw. Like a 1 in like so many millions. So why the fuck are we talking about this? And that's why I reacted so strongly. And we can discuss, if we want, we can discuss the physical state of the tile bag in that certain situation, which made it likely that he would draw at least 1 or 2 probably of the tiles he drew. Who knows? But it's when we're trying to extrapolate the discussion we're having in a way that matches how Scrabble should be played that I just cannot deal with it. It is so fucking stupid the way that people play this game. And we're never gonna make it. We might make it. We might still make it because people approach poker that way. It's like, oh, I shouldn't have folded. I shouldn't have made the best play because this was what was coming on the river. Like, that sort of results orientation is so bad for your mindset as a player. And so if I can't convince Joel Horn, and I figured I couldn't, if I can't convince him that his logic for choosing a play does not depend on what he happened to draw the next turn, why the fuck are we talking about it? I'm talking about the merits of your play. And the merits of your play have almost zero to do with the 7 tiles you just fucking drew out of the bag afterwards. With 60 tiles in the bag. It has zero. Almost fucking zero. 0.00000 like 1. Like, it's literally nothing to do. You can say, oh, I happen to draw this, I would have had that. I'm like, okay, whatever. But if you start basing your logic on that, and your approach to the position that you should have maybe had, I just check out. That's it. Like, is this crazy? Am I stupid? Like, am I wrong? I'm like, please. Help me out here, guys. Cyan just asked Copilot if the butterfly effect is real. It said it is. But it's not about, that's the thing. We can engage in the discussion of how likely it is that he would have drawn those specific tiles in that specific board state, in that specific, tile bag state. We can talk about that, and maybe my perception of how people reach into the bag and draw tiles being different from like every time they do it. Maybe my perception of that is wrong. Maybe he's likelier to have drawn those tiles than I think he was, based on the specific state of the tile bag. But that's not even important. That's not important at all. That's not... What's important is discussing what you think the best play is based on things that you can reasonably ascertain. That's all I'm saying. No, but that's what I'm telling you guys. I shouldn't have been battling. I agree, Joel, that I should not have been battling, and I should not have gotten into the discussion. But it's so fascinatingly annoying when it happens, and I'm so curious as an individual to hear what people have to say based on their like complete and bullshit like understandings of Scrabble. Because I want to teach. I want people to like learn, and I want to learn with them how to be better at Scrabble. And that's why I post mortem. I also I like the social aspect of like talking about things and whatever. Like there's a little bit of spice, a little bit of like sprinkle of what could have been is totally fine. But he bases his entire fucking logic on it. I can't handle it. No, but that okay, Sleeping Garfield, you were right. That could also like the empathy aspect of it could have to do with why I was engaging with it. That could very well be as well. Or just like wanting to maybe I just want to like maybe I want to curb stomp him when he's down. I hope not. Like I hope that I would be coming from like a genuine place. It could go either way. Anyways, that was game 7. I should go to Scrabble Club. Hey, Fubi, how's it going? Adam, are you for real trying to? Adam is like, oh, Chat GPT Copilot. This is what I'm looking to like find find the solution to this discussion. You cannot be serious. No, but it was fine, Joel. It was fine. It was fine. Don't worry. I wasn't getting this heated. I wasn't getting this heated. Okay, should I do one more game? Should I go to Scrabble Club? I should go to Scrabble Club. Yeah. Yeah, this game was boring as fuck. Okay. Well, don't remember that I just said that this next game is boring as fuck. Because it probably wasn't. There's probably a lot to discuss. And if there isn't a lot to discuss, we can discuss things that don't matter. Which is basically like him drawing CI blank, whatever the fuck he drew after latrine, which is just not relevant. Okay. I should go. But maybe I'll be back later. I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't usually I used to go on these sorts of rants a little bit more often on my stream, and it's always fun. It's always fun to do that. Show you guys my humanity in that way. All right, who should we raid? Is there anyone to raid? I don't know. Master, are you coming? Yeah, it's over. Sorry, Fubi. So we can raid virtual. All right, follower only chat, or is it sub only? If it's sub only, I'll stop raiding. No, it's not. Okay. Say hi to virtual. You're having a kid. Oh shit. Congrats. All right, Master Doe. You have a valid excuse. If you guys are following virtual, I guess I could use, and your you're subscribed to me. You can do this. You might get caught for spam. Yeah, I'm just leaving. I'm like rating and heading out. You can use the other bottom one if you're not subscribed. Okay, guys. And also if you're on YouTube, well, I'll just see you some other time. Goodbye. Maybe later.